Hello, my name is Cooper. This is my Youth in Peace. Today I'm going to be going over alternate movie endings, which is something that I find really interesting to think about and talk about. And I hope you will find it very amusing as well. So, the first movie that I'm going to be going over is American Psycho 2, All-American Girl. This movie came out in 2002. I think it's terrible. I think it's garbage. I think it's trash, rubbish, money pointlessly spent. The actual movie ends with a twist involving stolen identity, where the main character, Rachel, played by Mila Kunis, is seen dying in a car crash, but then years later reveals that she's still alive and stole a woman named Elizabeth McGuire's identity in order to get into the Quantico FBI Academy. Now, while this makes some sense regarding the rest of the movie, there's still one very big problem. This happens 88 minutes into the movie, and that is one too many of my minutes wasted. So I would much rather prefer that the movie only run about 10 to 15 minutes, and this can be accomplished by adding a scene where she's walking out of her college campus into a parking lot after speaking to her teacher about aspiring to join the FBI. This is in the very beginning of the movie, after the opening scene, and while she exits the facility, she begins walking on a crosswalk to get to her car into the parking lot, and she's hit by a car, subsequently killing her, and the driver did not see her as he was texting. And Rachel did not hear or see the car coming because she was distracted by her headphones. After she's hit with the car, there's this slow pan over, visually how the movie would look. There's this slow pan over the front of the car, showing the men get out, and there's the dent, and he tries to tend to Rachel's body, but she's already dead. And then it ultimately ends at her headphones, which you can hear Mambo Number 5 blaring out of. So she was listening to this song very loud and couldn't hear the car coming. I think this song is a happy kind of, it's a very just lively song, which is a very interesting comparison to what the situation is. A woman has died, and here you see Mambo Number 5 playing. The whole, at the very end, the movie is actually revealed to be a PSA, which is for the Don't Text and Drive campaign. So it's now a short film that's made by the U.S. government to stop texting and driving, and it represents, I think, how quickly something could be taken away, by reckless behavior. How quickly someone's life can change because you made a stupid decision and texted. The whole movie was thrown away, to my utter joy and excitement, because this person decided to text and drive and hit Rachel and killed her. And so there's no Rachel for the movie to actually be based on anymore. And then you don't have a movie. Yeah, I think as a PSA, it just has a much more impactful message than what the actual movie was, which was just terrible. So I just think it's very impactful to kind of have that idea of something be taken away that quickly. Additionally, Mila Kunis is a much better actor than this movie shows, and I think it's something that she wouldn't mind redacting from her resume. She actually said in an interview that it was supposed to be a different project and it was re-edited, and she said it was re-edited, but kind of badly. That's how she said it. She found out that there was a third American Psycho movie in development, and she tweeted out, "Please, somebody stop this, write a petition." And yeah, I could not agree with this more, honestly. I think Mila Kunis is a very, very good person and a very good actor, and it's a bad representation of her skills. She was very good in Family Guy when she voiced Meg. I've definitely seen other things with her in it, and she's really good in those. So, terrible movie. But anyways, let's move on to our second movie, which is Cars. The first one came out in 2006. And for this ending, I want to clarify, I respect this movie way too much for this to be a serious alternate ending. I just want to explain how this became a thing. Months ago, myself and Nathaniel, respected Youthspin creator and self-proclaimed fool, one of my best friends, we were messing around with Inferkit. It's an AI writing software, like ChatGPT is another one. You give it a prompt and it continues writing what you typed in. It'll scour the internet and kind of just write something that it thinks is what is supposed to be there. So we had this idea where we would just go on Wikipedia pages and find movies and get the first couple of plot lines, just copy them and paste them into the thing, and then have it write the rest of it. We messed around with a couple of other ones that weren't really working very well, because sometimes it blurts out complete nonsense that isn't even funny because it's just so messy. But we decided to put Cars in because I thought it was just kind of there's cars that talk and they have eyes, and it's just really weird, and I feel like it might make something funny with it. So we put in the first few plot lines of Cars, which I will read. This is what I put in. In a world populated by anthropomorphic vehicles, the Dynaco 400, the final race of the Piston Cup racing season, begins a rivalry between the 7-time champions Trip the King Weathers, who is looking to win his 8th Piston Cup before retirement, consistent runner-up Chick Hicks, who has resorted to forced crashes to get ahead, and talented but arrogant rookie Lightning McQueen. At the back of the field, McQueen avoids a multi-car crash deliberately caused by Chick. So that's all I put in to Inferkit. This is what it wrote, which I want to preface, it's shocking, it's unexpected, and it's incredible. And neither Nate or I could have predicted it. So here we go. This is what Inferkit wrote. Eventually, during the final lap of the race, the underdog Lightning slides to the outside of the track to pass Weathers, then slips and causes a multi-car crash that results in the death of several spectators, including an old woman whose broken umbrella strikes Weathers on the arm. Weathers becomes enraged, blaming Lightning and drawing his hot rod towards him. He attempts to kill Lightning, but is stopped by angry spectators and a police officer played by Howard Keel. Lightning and Chick are brought to a police station in handcuffs. Both express regret over the incident and want to race the next Piston Cup event. Weathers is taken into custody and slapped with multiple charges. He is released from jail shortly thereafter and changes his ways. So, I want to be clear, I don't really want the movie to end like this, because this movie, I respect it way too much. It's a staple of my childhood. It's a staple of many people's childhood. It's a classic. But I wanted to include this because of its sheer, insanity and, just shocking nature. And it's really weird. Really weird. And also, Howard Keel is an actor who, let me fact check right now. I think he's been dead for several years, before 2006. Howard Keel died in 2004. That's actually really close. Howard Keel died in 2004. He was born in 1919. He's an old fella. He was in Calamity Jane. He was in Kiss Me Kate. He was in The War Wagon. The Days of the Triffids. Oh yeah, my favorite movie, The Hoaxsters. What is this about? Bad things. It's about communism. Communism's terrible. Anyways, yeah, I don't want the movie to actually end like this. If it did, I think it would, one, it would not be a kid's movie, and I would not have watched it. My mom would not have allowed me to watch this movie as a child. I think I was about 5 or 6, actually, when I watched it. It came out a year after I was born, so it had time to kind of marinate and, before I was able to watch it and understand it. But yeah, this ending is just so dark and unpredictable. And I love it for that, and I love Inferkit for doing that. And it's a website that I continuously do that. I put movies in there and see what it writes. I wrote one, this is a little preview actually for maybe not my next piece, but future pieces. I put in the plot lines for a movie called Elmo in Grouchland, which is about Elmo losing his favorite blanket in Oscar the Grouch's trash can. He attempts to retrieve it, but he falls in. You find out that Oscar the Grouch's trash can is actually a whole nother universe. He doesn't just live in this tiny little space, Oscar the Grouch. He lives in a whole other world that is his trash can. It's kind of like Mary Poppins' purse, but it's a trash can, and it's a world that you can go in. So that's a good one, and I put that in. It's really funny, and I will write a piece about it soon. And also I did one for Muppets Most Wanted. It's a really funny movie because the Muppets are so funny. They're the funniest little guys. And the movie has I think it has Ricky Gervais in it. I think he plays a criminal. I'm not sure though. I haven't watched it, sadly. I know I'm missing out so much. But that will be a fun one for you guys because it's really funny and it ends really crazily. But I'm not going to tell you about it because you have to wait for the thing to come out. But that has been my alternate endings. I hope you enjoyed. Before we go, I do want to go over Howard Keel's filmography one more time, because he was in this movie called The Day of the Triffids, and I'm not sure what this is, and I'm really interested, because I don't know what a Triffid is. I guess it's about aliens, which are the Triffid. Oh, the Triffid is a fictional tall, mobile carnivorous plant species created by John Wyndham in the 1951 novel The Day of the Triffids. So it's based off the book The Day of the Triffids. You should go look up The Day of the Triffids movie. But anyways, thank you for listening, and I will see you soon in my next piece. Thank you very much.